Hey, what's going on, you guys? And welcome back to another lit video here on Skullman TV. And as you can read with the title, we have our announcement for our team based completely off of leaks. So, without further ado, drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's get on with today's lit video. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. And what we got here is our first Pokemon that hopefully it will be the first thing we encounter. But obviously we are going to be adding Gengar with our hopes of getting Mega Gengar into our party. We are also hoping to get Sableye and add him to the party. Now, we do have a couple little things we're going to state before we get into everything, and I'm going to tell you exactly why we're going to get a couple of these Pokemon. So, with Gengar having our Ghost and Poison, that's going to allow us to set up for a couple things. Then we'll obviously have Sableye to cover our Darkness for little Ghost Dark type, and get a couple more hits in, cover some weaknesses as well. We'll get into that later, though. Banette, obviously, for Mega Banette. And we obviously want to have as many Megas as we can, so we can take on a bunch of different Rogue Pokemon. Rogue Mega Pokemon. And, okay, so, with this being said, alright, I'm going to put a little spoiler in real quick, so if you do not want to hear the spoiler, you can skip ahead a little bit, but, you know, with that being said, look, we have gotten some confirmation. The data mines have happened. This is where I'm telling you, if you don't want to hear spoilers for stuff that just got spoiled, it's not story stuff or anything like that. It's just specifically Pokemon related. But we got a couple spoilers. I just got done looking at the data mines, and with the data mines, we have full confirmation that we are going to see a couple Pokemon in here. So, this is your final chance. If you don't want to hear it, definitely skip ahead a little bit. Alright, so, with that being said, our data mines that we had completely confirmed Frostlass and Chandelure having Megas. Obviously, there's a few extra other Megas that it confirmed that we will have that are mythical Pokemon related that we're not going to get into, but it did confirm that we are going to see Rogue Mega Frostlass, and I do believe Rogue Mega Chandelure. But if it didn't, that just further confirms that we're going to see Mega Chandelure, whether it's a Rogue Mega or not. So, with that being said, there is going to be some interesting stuff going here. So, with Mega Banette, we're going to cover... That's probably going to be our weakest Pokemon, let's be honest. With it just being a pure Ghost type. But, nonetheless, it's a powerhouse of a Ghost type. And one that we haven't necessarily played with too much. So, with the data mines out of the way, and talking about that leads me into my girl, Frostlass. We are going to get our Frostlass, obviously, to have another Mega on the team. And that's going to cover a lot of heavy hitting stuff. Cover our tails as far as Dragon Pokemon and a couple other Pokemon, you know, that may come our way. I'm not going to say every single Pokemon, but Dragon type is our main concern, and that's mostly what I usually use Frostlass for. Is a little bit of Dragon types, but I do use Frostlass for a couple of other things, which you'll see when we get into Legends ZA. And then, obviously, my boy Chandelure to throw yet another Mega. So that gives us, Mega Gengar, Mega Sableye, Mega Banette, Mega Frostlass, and Mega Chandelure. That gives us at least 5 Megas right there. As far as Chandelure is going to cover a lot of weaknesses. It's going to help with a lot of weaknesses against Frostlass, against Banette, some of the weaknesses against Sableye, some of the even the weaknesses against Gengar. You know. Also, with this, we'll also be able to take out a lot of Psychic type Pokemon, so on and so forth. And with that the extra little Dark type, we may have a couple other little Dark type moves that we can actually go into. And with Mega Sableye being on the defensive side, Mega Sableye will come in clutch for a defensive Pokemon as well. So Mega Chandelure is going to be mostly my tank next to Gengar. And if we can get an alpha version of either of these, that'll be amazing. Also, excuse the squeakiness in my voice. I seem to have had a sore throat today for some reason. I'm not sure. But yeah. Nonetheless. Let's finish this up. So, here's going to be a couple different Pokemon that we're not sure we're going to see. We're not sure we're actually going to put on who we're going to put on our team. Depending on the leaks and as things are getting data mined, obviously it will time will tell who all we're going to put on our team. But we have going based off of rumors, speculation, Aegislash. Aegislash is one I really want to put on my team to hopefully see another Mega Evolution and be our 6th Mega Evolution for the team. And also, he's once again a heavy hitter, big on the defensive side, also big on the offensive side depending on which form he's in, and that will also give me some coverage for some of my other Pokemon and their weaknesses, such as Chandelure. Well, maybe not Chandelure. Well, yeah, some weaknesses Chandelure has. Not too many that Frostlass has, but the rest of them, yeah, definitely you'll see a couple different little things that, Aegislash will have a little bit of a type advantage to help us out with said team. Now, I also find that I enjoy putting some steel type bulky Pokemon on the team as the ghost, because it's ghost steel typing, it just becomes so bulky and has this good amount. It has its weaknesses. Don't get me wrong, but they tend to be the tankier side and more of your one-shot killers next to Gengar and Chandelure. Depending on how you train them up and obviously what moves I'm going to give them. But moving on, another Pokemon that we're hoping also gets a Mega Evolution is going to be Rotom. So hopefully, if he does get Mega Evolution, if Rotom's even in the game, what we want to do is we want to keep him in his Ghost Electric form, and that'll give us a speedier Pokemon next to some of the other Pokemon that we actually have on this list. Because, let's be real, Aegislash, Chandelure, even Frostlass, and I'm not sure about Banette's speed stats. I don't think Banette's speed stats are too good. But we do know Sableye is so far going to be our fastest Pokemon. Because Gengar, when you put up Gengar, Banette, Frostlash, Chandelure, and even Aegislash, if we put them on our team, any of those would be not too fast a Pokemon. Now, Frostlash, you could argue, could be a little bit on the fast side, but so far Sableye is probably our fastest. But even with that being said, as soon as you go into Mega Evolution, that speed's, I would assume, is going to decrease, if I remember correctly. Don't get me wrong, I could be completely wrong there, because Sableye, I didn't play him too often, And it's why I really want to put Sableye on my team and some of these Pokemon, because back when Mega Evolution first came out, yes, I used Gengar. And that was my favorite of the Mega Evolutions. But I never touched Sableye. I didn't really care for his Mega Evolution too much. I didn't touch Banette because I just didn't care for Banette as a Pokemon in general. I was more of a Duskull fan when the two came out. And, Frostlass has been on my team for a while. Chandelore's been on my team for a while. Gengar's been on my team for a while. But these two didn't even get too much of love. So I really want to show them some love and give Sableye a try and Banette a try. Give them some love and put them on a team. It's one of those Pokemon we don't use too often. Same with Aegislash. Not really a Pokemon we use too often. We did use Aegislash in, I think, what was it, Sword and Shield. And we also used Aegislash a little bit in Scarlet and Violet. But even then, I don't really tend to show Aegislash too much of love, minus being in Pokken Tournament. Pokken Tournament is where he got the most love from me. And even then, I don't know. I like Aegislash, but I'm in the middle of, I like you, but you're not necessarily my favorite Pokemon in the world, right? Although, it would kind of be a little interesting. We're seeing a little pattern here, Love for the Chandelier, but no love for the Sword and Shield. But yeah, I do like Aegislash. I think he's a really good Pokemon. He's very tanky, but even then, I switched him out for Dragapult in Sword and Shield, and then when it came to Scarlet and Violet, of course, it got swapped out for Gimmighoul, and I evolved Gimmighoul into Goldingo. And Aegislash completely went bye-bye, and Goldingo became my favorite of the Ghost Steel types. Now, Rotom, the whole reason with Rotom is, like I said, speed, and Rotom's not going to be the most bulky Pokemon, not the most strongest Pokemon, but it does tend to cover a lot of my differences. Gives me a Pokemon that has an electric attack, which I can use to my advantage against any water Pokemon that may come my way. Cover weaknesses for Chandelure, and I think some other Pokemon too. Not really Gengar. Gengar, you don't have to worry about water moves, minus maybe Hydro Pump. But Hydro Pump will take out pretty much anybody. Sableye, definitely gonna have his weaknesses. So it'll cover out a lot of weaknesses. A couple of weaknesses. At least being able to cover some some flying type Pokemon and cover some water type Pokemon. And also, it'll be speedier than anyone else I would have on my team. And if speed's going to play out like we think it's going to play out, boy, Rotom will be broken when it comes to that speed and its actual ability to hit. Because when it hits, Rotom can be strong. Let's not get that twisted. Rotom can be extremely strong if you know how to use it, and if it has really good speed stats, and especially in a game where speed is going to be everything. How fast can you move out the way and hit your opponent Pokemon? So with throwing a Mega Evolution into the mix, that would be absolutely outrageous. And even if we don't get Mega Evolutions for these two, I really think that Rotom's going to be my go-to, because I will want someone speedier. And if it doesn't work out, we'll probably actually go back and get ourselves an Aegislash. But we're not even confirming. We haven't even been. I don't even think we've been confirmed that Rotom's in the game. I don't believe. We're gonna have to go back and look that up. Anyways, moving on. We do want to put Hisuian. If we don't choose either of these, another good competitor would be Hisuian Zora / Hisuian Zoroark, and put them on our team. And what that will give us is definite coverage and covering weaknesses when it comes to a lot of things, because Hisuian Zoroark is Ghost Normal, which the only weakness it has is Dark type. That's it. And that'd be a good little heavy hitter right next to our buddy Sableye. And we'll have, pretty much 2 Pokemon, well, really 3, that can honestly throw hands and get those good Dark type moves off. But I think we're gonna definitely have to cover some weaknesses, and that'll give us some normal attacks, Hyper Beam, some heavy hitting normal attacks, heavy hitting Ghost type attacks, and some heavy hitting Dark type attacks for our team. But honestly, we really don't need Hisuian Zoroark because we do have Sableye. But if we want to throw a little normal type on, just throw a little curveball out there, then I think that Zoroark would be a good Pokemon to throw in there as well. But we don't want nothing too strong on our team, because we do want to give ourselves a little bit of a competition. Now, I do want to see something. We're going to pause this. We're going to check and see if Rotom got confirmed. Alright, so yeah, we have no confirmation that Rotom's actually going to be in the game. But we do have confirmation that the phone will be in the game. But, yeah, all we got is rumors that there's a possibility Rotom, one of those Mega Stones for the Mega Dimension, maybe Rotom, or and one of them may be an Aegislash, possibly. But no definite confirmation that Rotom is actually in the game. But if he is, I mean, that's one of our options. But this is one of the ones that we most likely will not see on the team, because we're not even certain that Rotom's going to be able to be in the game. Now, we will test it. We can test it and go into Pokemon Home, see if we can transfer Rotom to Legends EA whenever we're able to start trying to trade. And I probably won't bother to do that on camera, but we will definitely see if Rotom is able to actually even be put in Pokemon Legends EA. And if he is, that kind of further confirms there is a strong, that makes the possibility of him having a Megastone, of that Megastone being his, really strong. So we'll see. But nonetheless, it's going to be way later into it. So with that being said, I think the main one we're probably going to see is going to be Aegislash, because I would rather not have to not have a transfer Pokemon into our game to play the full game with. And I love Hisuian Zoroark, but we're really on the fence with, we're really on the fence with them, So we're not sure if we really want that, but that is another possibility. So we're going to see how Aegislash works out for the team first. And you know what they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But only because I want to show him love for an actual game. And I showed Zoro and Zoroark a lot of love for Legends Arceus. I want to show my boy Aegislash a little love. I guess I'm a little softy for it. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, Hisuian Zoroark, I'm coming for you, buddy. So, with that being said, I mean, that's going to be my team. That's going to be most likely my team for Pokemon Legends EA, unless we get any more Ghost Mega Evolutions that we don't know about in the Mega DLC. And if we do, there's a possibility Hoopa may be on our team. Marshadow, any Pokemon, any kind of Ghost Pokemon runs a chance of being on our team. So, that may change. We just do not know. And that's only for our 6 Pokemon. Because I'm pretty set on the 5, 100%. And I can't wait to play around with my little ghosty boy Gengar and get all that going. And I'm not going to lie, another Pokemon that is strong for our team, which I do not think is going to be in the game, but hey, this boy right here, Mimikyu. If by any chance Mimikyu gets confirmed for Pokemon Legends ZA, I don't care if it gets a Mega Evolution or not. If I can't use Rotom, but I can use Mimikyu, Aegislash and Zoroark go out the window. Mimikyu is my starter Pokemon through and through. That's like my personal Pikachu. I will always have Mimikyu on my team if I'm able to. 100%. Because that is one of my go-to Pokemon right there next to Gengar. And honestly, I really hope we see a Mega Mimikyu, because if you've seen some of the concepts for a Mega Mimikyu, they are crazy. If we ever get a Mega Mimikyu, it'll absolutely be crazy, and I cannot wait to see it if we do. I don't think we will. I really don't. I really don't think they're going to even put him in the game or give him a Mega in the DLC. But we've seen crazier. We just got Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. Definitely wasn't expecting that. Who's to say a Mega Mimikyu is not in the future? Who knows? Rotom is completely a curveball. Completely left field. I'm sure there's a lot that they could do with Rotom, but there's even more that they could do with Mimikyu as a Mega. And it would be absolutely crazy. They could give Mimikyu like the Banette treatment or anything. And honestly, if both of them got a Mega Evolution, I'd be willing to throw Banette off the team just to throw Mimikyu on the team or something. So, like I said, with that being said, that is my team so far. Like I said, depending on what happens with the game, things can always change, and if Mimikyu, by chance, any chance, gets in this game, which I completely doubt it will, 100% going on the team. Alright, you guys, well, that's that. So, with all that being said, keep it lit, keep it hype, keep it real, and keep on doing what you love, you guys. I will see y'all when we are playing Legends ZA. Peace.